I come from a dark place. Growing up in my situation wasn't easy. Dad was never around. Mom was constantly working to provide for all four of her kids. This took a toll on my mom that motivated me to take drastic measures and leave high school behind so I could bring in extra income to aid my mom. People may consider me a failure because I dropped out of high school. However, the way I see it, life didn't do me bad. I've learned many things that maybe I wouldn't have if it wasn't for what I went through. I now want to use myself as a way to set an example that no matter what you go through, there's a way you can change those around you and make a positive impact.
I come from a fortunate situation. 2 loving parents, a roof over my head, and never having to worry about anything outside of school. While I was blessed enough not to have to deal with other struggles others may have, I still see the opportunity to give back to those in need. I know I'm in a good position to help, so I do. I embrace where I'm at in life and want to be able to bring value to those that need it. My goal is to create something bigger than me and to bring us as people together. We know there are people like us around the world whose voice need to be heard.
So we are here to provide that voice for them because we carry the voice of the future.
Alright, let's go, bro.
What's good, brother, man? You doing all right?
Yep.
Hey, that's what's up.
What's going on, y'all? Welcome back to the community. I hope you guys, are having a good day, whether you're watching, or had a good day, whether you're watching at nighttime or daytime.
Yes, for sure.
And you already know, I'll introduce myself for those that are new. My name is Abdul.
And my name's Luis. Welcome back. And if you're new, thank you for being with us today.
Yep. And today we will be covering the topic of relationships. We'll both give our perceptions and perspectives of what a relationship is, foundation, all that good stuff. Then we'll follow that up with interview of other people's perspectives outside of us, and share that with y'all.
For sure. So I'm gonna start it off just because. So we got this spiffy little dry erase board, and I took the time to write this down. This is what I feel like is crucial to the foundation of any relationship. Now, as you get older, you probably already knew all of this, and you probably are implementing this as much as you can in your relationship. But like, if you guys want me to read them out loud for you, for those of you that maybe aren't able to read: loyalty, honesty, trust, communication, and obviously in a relationship of any kind, there has to be some type of attraction. Are you attracted to their mindset? Are you attracted to their physique? You feel me? Stuff like that. But what I feel like doesn't get enough light when it comes to a relationship is the actual maintaining a relationship, bro. Nowadays, what's so common? Like bonds breaking it. Am I not right? There's always people folding on each other.
There's statistics and facts on,
divorce rates. Divorce rates and all of that. Even friendships, bro. I feel like in general, the way we see things as a youth and people that are getting older, it's more common to fold in our relationship.
Yeah, and we're not even talking about relationship with boy, girl, but everything as much as friendships to, brothers, any type of relationship.
No, for sure. Any type of relationship of that sort, man, nowadays it's rough. And, what do you feel like?
Well, first off, I want to ask you because, what do you think are some common problems people face in a relationship that we could touch up on?
I mean, one.
What is something you had a problem with in a relationship
that's a good
possibly someone else has had a problem with?
Definitely somebody who isn't able to listen. Okay. I feel like that happens a lot. And yeah, people may say they listen to you, but are they actually listening to what you're saying? Like everybody nowadays has something to say, and everybody wants to prove why they're right or wrong. But you never actually listen to their reasons.
Most people want to, move their mouth before they actually listen. And I want to add on that to say, I don't know if it's a society or generations, but I feel like in today's age, people not only lack, listening, but communication skills in general. And I say that because, people can do all the texting, that, but then when you get in person, it's like they can't even carry on a regular conversation just talking about stuff. And, that's a regular human skill that you pick up when you're like 5 years old. And, some people might be different, whether it's they're not as shy or they're not, outgoing. But I feel like you should be able to carry on, a regular conversation with someone, be able to have the, regular skills like listening, and be able to offer something back when you're, having intellectual conversations. And I also feel like some conversations should focus more on important topics like we're talking on. Not saying you got to be serious all the time. Me and him are serious all the time. We're talking about serious topics on this channel, but we goof around. We're not like we talk about funny stuff. You know what I mean? So, just think about it like this: when you're in a room with someone else, or you're on a date with someone, and you're spending time with that person. When you take your phone out, it's an unconscious signal. When you take your phone out in a big area, it's because you're saying unconsciously that the people around you are not as important as what's going on with your phone. And think about it. If you're out with your friend or out with a girl or, whoever it is, you want to talk, communicate, have a good time, and then they're on their phone. That's going to make you feel less important. And I feel like that has taken away from our communication skills. Phones should not be brought into communication when it comes to just relationships in general, when you talk to someone.
No, for sure. And I want to backtrack a little bit because we're talking about relationships, but here's something people often don't realize and they don't want to admit. It's okay to not be ready for a relationship. Most people get into a relationship and want to learn how to be in one. The whole point of getting into a relationship is knowing how to be in a relationship. You feel me? Like, yeah, you got to learn that person out and take it day by day, build a bond with them. Yeah. But I feel like those things, like the things I talked about, like you want to bring it up? I feel like these things that I brought up, those those you should already have before. Okay, so if I had to give it so you guys can understand, say you're building a house, right? The house being a relationship. These are the things you should already bring to create the house. If you don't have a bag of loyalty with you, if you didn't bring piles of honesty with you, if you don't have trust with you, you can't build that house. Because guess what's going to happen? The foundation's going to... Exactly.
No, that was a really good analogy.
Yeah. So that's just the way it is. Don't be afraid to say, hey, look, I need more time. It's okay if people think you're lame because you're single, but you're doing it for the mature reason. You're not ready to give yourself up to somebody for that.
I want to add on to what he said. And, basically that goes back to saying, to put it simply, when you go into a relationship, it's to add value to what you already bring. It's not to fill the gaps that you don't have. Yeah, you can balance out each other when it comes to maybe one person isn't good at other. But when I say bring values, they add on to it, meaning, you were already a happy person before them, and they just add on to the happiness. And, you want to have this type of mindset because you don't want to go into the relationship lacking that, and then when they're gone, they fill that gap. You're left like feeling empty and like you need them. You want to be able to go in, having every aspect you will want in that person within yourself. So for example, let's say I want a girl who's healthy. I have to look at me. Am I healthy? Because it's not fair for me to ask for, a girl that is healthy and not be that myself. Why would you ask for something you can't even be yourself? And I also feel like when it comes to finding for you that you might not, be able to find the right person, are you putting yourself in the right environments to find people like that? You're not going to find the girl you probably want at a strip club. And I don't have to go any deeper than that. It's as simple as that. You might want to go some different activities. You might find that girl you want at the library. So, I think it's just, adding value, the environment that you put yourself in. And also, just focusing on yourself and having those values to add into it.
No, that's real, bro. No, for sure. Well said, bro. Now, I feel like one thing that's very obvious, so obviously people don't bring it up. Yeah, there has to be a physical attraction because, like he said, don't try to be with a girl that's like model status. If you're not healthy, living a healthy lifestyle, she might be into that type of stuff, living a healthy lifestyle. But attraction to those people who don't know it, maybe because there are people, believe it or not, bro, in the world that are just like so shallow that they feel like, oh, she's hot, she's fine, like I want to date her. You feel me? And that's so common.
That's not the right reason.
But that's not a relationship. That's a hookup type thing. You know what you're going in for when you say a girl's fine. But if you look at a girl and say, I want to get to know her,
and you want to build a foundation where you guys want to achieve goals together. You have the same type of mindset. You add value into each other's life, making you golden. Yeah. But I know I said it funny, but no, that's real. Yeah. And
if I can say something, I feel sad for not me and you, bro, because we have the right mindset, but the amount of people I see on social media, bro, I don't know if you can testify to this, like the amount of girls that aren't even old enough to drive yet that are saying, bro, people ain't nothing. Like, I get done so dirty. I get done the worst. I can't trust nobody. Like, you're already having a bad outlook on relationships at such a young age, but you shouldn't, bro. Do you agree with me on this? You shouldn't be looking at it for a relationship if you can focus on other things, you know?
No, I agree. No,
Yeah,
I agree.
like it's too many 14. I'm sorry that I'm gonna target an age group, and if you feel offended, you probably are the person that is in that age group that's doing this. But if you're the ages 13 through 17, and you can focus on yourself and you can maintain a group of friends around you, so you don't have to try to look for the opposite gender, do that. Because you will save yourself so much time. You can work on yourself during that time. You can improve your health habits. You can do so many other things than to invest and put your trust in a person, get your feelings involved, your heart involved, then you're heartbroken all of a sudden because you just wanted to mess around and experiment something that isn't really an experiment. It's a life experience and a lesson. You feel me?
Yeah, and I also feel like, you know, you can, I feel like you're probably not going to be, your full self and, at your peak at 14. Everybody's different. But at that point where you feel like you're at the utmost point to where you got everything together for you and you have your values together and you're a happy person and you feel like, you could, add on to a relationship, then I say there's no problem with doing it because, yeah, you could, you can learn relationships through, your brothers, your friends, but actually getting a relationship with the opposite gender, that's a different type of experience that I feel like you would have to learn hands-on and actually being in it. And I don't see relationships as a bad thing if you're going into it for the right reasons. And, you take it as a learning experience, basically. So, think of the people that you do possibly get with, learn from it and, get something from it to possibly see, maybe I didn't like this about that person, so I want this in the next person type thing. So just kind of change your mindset in it to,
True.
do that.
And,
don't let it bring you down. Because I know there's obviously, it's a typical problem, like you said, where females or males, they'll get that one girl who wasn't like that, maybe she wasn't mature, like she did what you felt like was wrong, or, don't let that one person affect you. And I always hear the saying, you need to find yourself before you can before you can love someone else and love yourself. I totally agree with that. Yeah, you should be able to love yourself and, be able to find yourself. But I want to give you a different perspective. So finding yourself, is this post I saw on Instagram, isn't a thing. It really is. You're there, but you're hidden, let's say, under a whole bunch of covers. And in that middle is you. And those covers are society and, what was put onto you to make you have different ways of how you want to be. So let's say for example, I was a good kid and I liked giving people candy. But then one day, I don't want to use that example. Okay, so for example, this is an actual society problem. I'm just a young girl. I'm happy. I don't feel like I don't have any, doubts in myself. And then you might see a magazine of a girl where they, showing, body. They focus on the wrong things when it comes to female, and that makes you feel bad. So what I'm trying to say is, finding yourself is just finding things in society or things that happen to you or experiences in life that might have changed you in a bad way, and finding your true self, knowing how you were before you let any of those things change you to the worst.
No, I agree with that. I understand what you're saying, bro.
Yeah.
And I feel like we've touched the topic of what a relationship is and the foundation, but there might be those of you who are already in a bad relationship and you're wondering, you're looking at this and saying, oh, this is my favorite part of the topic. How do you get out of a toxic relationship? Toxic relationship with anybody. With your mom, with your boyfriend, girlfriend, brother, sister, teacher, friend, best friend, whatever the point is, bro. I feel like, yeah, we talked about how to be in a relationship, what to bring into a relationship, what the foundation is. But if you're stuck in that situation where you're in a bad relationship, that doesn't mean that's it. You failed at a relationship. That's not true. What advice would you give somebody that's in a bad relationship right now, bro? What would you tell them?
Get out.
But but what to do after they get out?
Um,
Because the hard part isn't getting out. You can end a relationship, but dealing with it, you know what I'm saying? That's tough.
okay. For someone in a toxic relationship, let me just put myself in that position.
Okay.
Well, first off, you had to have self-respect. And by having self-respect, you have to know that you don't deserve those things, and you bring more to the table, and you won't put up with any of that, no matter who it is. First thing is self-respect, and I think the second thing that will help you feel better about getting out of that situation is if you could tell yourself, looking at yourself in that toxic relationship, what would you do what would you do that would make you proud of how you handle a situation? Make you what would you be proud of? Like, oh, you handled that so right, and that's if I could do that a million times over, I would have did it the right way and how I did it. Ask yourself that question, and go about it the mature way, genuine, and just have self-respect with it too. Don't take anything, don't that you don't have to. You feel like you're more than that. You have to, I always see females that possibly stay in a relationship, but it's not necessarily a good one. Why do you think they don't leave?
I feel like most of the time, I'm not gonna lie, it's fear, and I feel like most of the time, bro, people, not just females, is like they're not only scared, but they don't have the will to. They don't really feel that in themselves. You know what I'm saying? Like oh my God, this one person. I feel like I guess what I'm trying to say is, bro, people get stuck on who they met at first, and have that hope that maybe one day they will go back to being that person instead of actually thinking about all the things that they've done to them, and so they stick around. You know what I'm saying? In hopes and dreams that one day that person will act the same. For sure, and then you get to thinking, and you get compassionate, and you show empathy, and you're like, oh no, this is a good person. They might just be having a bad week, month, year. Like, I need to chill. But no, like he said, if you have self-respect for yourself and you understand this is going on too long, you've already expressed how you feel, and things aren't changing. That's your cue. Am I right? Like, no, you gotta go. After that, there's no more to do there. But I would say is, yeah, if the person did something drastic, like, yeah, flick them off, like, do all of that. But if it was a lesson learned there, if you didn't learn anything from them, but you learned something about yourself, you just gotta thank God and make that a life lesson. You feel me? Like, you just gotta keep it pushing and say, okay, never again, and boom, you're on to the next thing.
At the end of the day, I feel like a relationship should, this is another problem. I feel like people go into relationships hurt. And, I have dealt with those people that have been hurt. Yeah. And, everybody's been hurt. Everybody's been through something, been through struggle, but it's not a reason to hold back.
It's not.
If you're ready to grow a relationship, first of all, you should be ready to be vulnerable. You should be ready to be open, honest, and be able to communicate everything. It doesn't matter if it's, let me use an example. Why couldn't you text me back? And then the person, like, you feel like maybe someone before it was like, oh, you're tripping, and, responded in a negative way to make you feel not want to do that in the next relationship. But let me tell you what a truly caring person, what I would do personally, it's just how I am. But I think that is if I could handle it, I'll tell myself how to handle this, I'll handle it. So, a girl, she says, you're not responding. And that, she's always, upset for that. I would say, I would address it. I wouldn't say you're tripping. I would say, okay, I'm not responding. And then, obviously, I'm not going to not respond for no reason, but, kind of reassure and let her know I'm not ignoring you. I'm getting stuff done that is important to me. And, when I'm done with that, then I'll get back to you. And just kind of, give a more mature answer rather than just be like, you're tripping. Sure. That's very insensitive. That is not cool, and I'm not cool with that at all. People always feel the need to, just be insensitive. Like, be kind, be mature, like, about situations. There's no need to do none of that, and I'll tell you, a person who really cares will handle that in that type of way. And, I will never not say how I feel, and, if that person really cares, they're going to listen, and maybe it might not be something big to them, but if it's big to you, then they're going to take the initiative to, try to either explain to you, talk it out, or try to fix it for you. And also, I want to say I'm not encouraging this either. Don't be calling out, oh, you didn't text me back. Oh, you don't call out every little thing. You want to pick and choose your battles and just ask yourself, will this matter in 3 days?
For sure, bro. But I feel like we touched everything up, bro. I feel like we talked about everything that was important, and now we want to go and see people's opinions on the topic.
Yeah, other people's perspectives outside of us. So we're gonna go ahead and do that and bring you guys along with us.
We'll be back. So today I'm here with
Noelle.
Okay, Noelle, my question for you today is, what is one thing that you would advise to somebody who is in a relationship but isn't happy right now?
That's not an easy question. That's deep. That isn't happy right now. Well, I guess what you need to do is think about if it's something that you want to move forward with, if that's something that you want to continue with, and then make steps to heal that relationship. Open lines of communication, trust, things of that nature. And if you don't want that relationship, then you need to get out, because you only have one life, right? So you want to be happy in that life. So, but I can say that from experience, because I got divorced last year, and I was with him for 12 years. So tried to heal the relationship, and it didn't work. We tried. We went actually.
All right, so today I'm here with
John
and
Dakota.
And luckily enough, we were able to find a couple that's in a relationship. So we want to switch the question around and ask you guys, what is some advice you could give to somebody who wants to be in a relationship, but they're not quite ready to? What would you tell them?
With the person that you think you want to be in a relationship with, like the person that you like, just talk it over with them, really go in depth with what you want and what they would want, and listen to them, and make sure you let them listen to you too, and just so you get mutual feedback.
No, I like that. That's good. Good. Well said, man. So what do you feel like is important?
I feel like every person should find love within themselves before they can get into a different relationship with somebody else. I just feel like you should love yourself before you can love anybody else.
That's fact. She's preaching, yo. She's preaching for real. No, we appreciate you guys so much. Thank you for your time.
Today I'm here with
Craig.
And today, Craig, we're going around giving people feedback on relationships, and maybe you could, help somebody out. So what are some things that you consider important in a relationship, and why? I wanted to add on, sorry to cut you off, but not just, girlfriend, but just relationships as far as your brother, a girl, boy, whoever it is, but relationships in general, not just specifically to females.
Okay, I got you. I'd say trust is a good one. That's really important. You need to be able to trust the person you're with, trust them. Not to, how do I put this? Not to, make light of your problems, but also be able to just to kind of rely on them for just all kinds of things. That sounds really vague, but I think having a lot of similar interests is also really important. Again, no matter, like you said, no matter what the relationship is, if it's romantic or whatever, that way you and whoever it is, you guys have something in common, something you guys can kind of use to bond. But it's also important you guys have different opinions on stuff, so that you're not just, that way you can both kind of learn from each other.
No, I totally agree. That's some great advice, man. So anything you would like to add on?
I think that's about what I can come up with off the top of my head.
Okay. No, that was good. All right, guys. So today we're in Hiram, Georgia with
Riley.
And basically today, Riley, we're going around asking people about, problems with the relationships. Mm-hmm. And, we want to see how they could, offer some advice to people that might be going through it. So the question is, what is a common problem that you think is, in today's relationships, and what would you advise people to do to fix it?
Okay. A lot of boys and girls, they're in a relationship, but they're friendly. Friendly to other, their best friend, their best girlfriend, or their best guy friend.
Okay.
So to fix that, you can't make somebody stop being friends with somebody. But if you want to fix that, I think y'all should all, come together, talk it out, and just, I don't know,
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I know exactly what you're saying. That's a genuine way about going about it. And, just have kind of mutual respect, right?
Yeah.
Okay. We just got back from doing our interview, and we got some good feedback. So I hope that it helped you guys. You can take something from it, and I'm not gonna lie. What really kind of upset to me today was that we were going around trying to make a positive impact. Certain people, they would automatically assume that it was us either trying to get money for them, trying to holler at them, don't know why, or just already had a negative assumption about what we were trying to do, when really we're just trying to do something for the good. And I understand that there could be a lot of circumstances or reasons that they did that, but that's basically what happened. But we still persevered through it and got some good answers. So
yeah, we had the bad, but a lot of it was positive, and I think the positive overcame the negative, bro.
Yeah, for sure.
It was good. So finish this out. I feel like we should just. What do you feel about what they said? You feel like we're spot on? I feel like we're spot on with what we're saying and what we talked about what we discussed, because as they saw already, because they already saw the interviews, like the things we said, some of the people with experience agreed on that too. You know what I'm saying? What we were talking about before we left to go get the interviews was very spot on, and I feel like we're at the right place. With our thoughts.
Yeah. So we're getting towards the end of it. I think you guys should participate in this community. Comment some problems you think happen in a relationship, and say something you feel like you could do to fix it, or other people could. You know what I mean? And
sure.
Anything you like that?
Yeah, I would like to challenge. We always try to challenge people because you're not getting anywhere in life without a challenge. So my challenge for you is, if you are in a bad place with a relationship right now, you can either do one or two things: acknowledge that it's bad for you and fix it, or acknowledge that it's bad for you and move on. Would be my challenge for them, bro.
Okay. Yeah, I think that's a good challenge.
Yeah.
So feel free to share your stories down below too. Possibly could help somebody out. So,
yes. I feel like we touched upon everything. But
yeah, for sure. More than enough.
Yes. Make sure you guys, if you guys could do us a favor though, and follow our social media. It's under the description, where we have a Instagram page where we're letting you guys see past this, and we're gonna fill it up with our memories, highlights, everything that we feel is important and that represents our community. Yeah. I feel like that's what is gonna go on there, and you guys are a part of it. So definitely go check us out there. And if there's not anything more to be said, bro, thank you guys for watching us. I love you guys, and we'll just see y'all next time.
All right, y'all have a blessed day, blessed night, and we'll catch y'all on the next video.